I was gonna text you guys this, but I was like, I'm not gonna text this. I'm gonna save this. Some alt-right group basically captured you and like yes, and you got away,
like
but
you
it
farted.
took like 6 months for you to get away. And when we seen you, dude, you were like shriveled up and you had no beard. They basically
beard.
would
So
let
the
you grow
exact
your beard
opposite.
out and just like shave it off every time. So you had like a goatee, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This isn't Kirby. Where's Kirby?"
Potentially a podcast in theory.
All right, guys, we're back after quite the hiatus. So
them
welcome
all
back
hiatus.
to Potentially a Podcast in Theory. I'm Kirby. With me at the table, as always, we have Sean Zula. Sean, say hi.
I'm a very angry Shanzu.
And El Jefe himself, we got Jeff.
Yeah, very content. Not angry at all over here.
So this is officially episode 3 because we would have already had an episode 3 if I had not misplaced the footage. Right, guys? Right?
Or stop working at the office, whichever one.
Hey, I was going to get there. Yeah, so quickie update. I no longer work for the office. I have moved on to a different office, but I still love these guys, so I will forever act like I'm still with them at the office.
Yeah, a lot of changes with this one.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. So not only am I not working there, you guys went on vacation.
Yep.
You went to Disneyland
Went to the happiest place on earth.
with the happiest people, right?
It's debatable. We'll leave it at that.
And what about you, Sean? How do you do?
I went to Mexico, dude, with again the happiest people on earth. Wink, wink.
Yeah, family trips. As you get older, you realize that you just don't do them. You just don't go with your family
Until
on an
you
entire
have your
trip.
own family. Like when you have your own kids that you get to wrangle in and like they're your responsibility anyways, so you might as well be somewhere else with your responsibility. I feel like that's chill.
Sure.
But when you're an adult going with your adult family with kids,
Well, it's not even that. It's like what happens is that, don't be wrong, like there were great moments that happened in there and everything. You find good things that happen, but there just are these other moments that you just get so freaked out about, and you realize this is why I'm alone and I'm not with my family 24/7 ever again. Like
this is why I moved out. This is
why-
why I have
yeah.
my own life.
I mean, I got home. I'm like, I am just gonna go to my bedroom, gonna turn on TV, and just shut the door and do nothing. Like, bye bye.
So you were at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Did you get to go do anything Marvel related while you were there?
Well, you know, I can say this. I went on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and that was very Marvel.
Isn't that just Tower of the Terror? Tower of Terror.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
I think that's what they call it. I haven't been there since that thing had been built. But the Guardians ride, I left that ride, with like the biggest smile on my face. I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Does it still drop down?
It does the whole like go up on an elevator, drop, can go up higher, drop, then like you see across the entire park and drop, but your like tour guide is Rocket. So he's taking you around doing these things, and he's trying to just finagle around the collector and all this kind of stuff. But it has like the soundtrack from the movie. It has everyone from the movie, like everyone, all the different characters.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made that.
It's
that
complete.
ride.
And I got told afterwards that there's like 5 different versions of the ride that you can see. So had I known
Is
that,
it like a crapshoot or?
It's like Star Tours.
There's a
Star
schedule.
Tours is like 5 different like
Yeah.
5 different.
there's
missions you
this
can
the
take.
possibility that can put you through. So had I known that, I definitely would have tried to go back again, just to go, because you would see something differently. But if it was the same ride, I would have gone that 5 times. Like it was just that much fun to go through and see and just kind of get immersed in, you know, the Marvel stuff. The funny part, and this is what I really appreciate, the people that work at Disneyland, is they're building a Marvel land. But if you ask someone that, they're not going to tell you that. So what
They're all on the same page too. No one's going to tell you.
the cast member tell you and say, Mr. Stark bought the property over there and he's building something marvelous. Wink, wink. And it's like,
wink.
yeah, it's like, and so like she tells it, like the girl tells it to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I laugh and chuckle, go along. My dad's like, who the fuck is Mr. Stark?
Well, speaking of Mr. Stark, this is an episode that we've been really excited about. So we've taken a lot of feedback with our previous 2 episodes, and we're going to try to implement them a lot today.
Or we're not going to care about nobody's opinion.
Or not. But so what we're going to try to do with this episode is we're going to try to stick to one topic. And it's a pretty meaty topic, especially because we're creeping up on Endgame right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go over pretty much the Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far. So We're going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to talk about Disney's acquisition of Fox and how that can affect the MCU. We're going to talk about Captain Marvel because we did that our last episode that I misplaced.
Essentially, your dog ate it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, if you only had the audio to know how true that was.
Arf.
And then we're going to go on to some pre-game predictions. So, Sean.
Can I blow up that list real quick? Not blow it
Absolutely.
up, but like, can I add one more thing to it? Let's talk about, does anybody have their Endgame tickets and how much of a fiasco that was that Tuesday, April 2nd? Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't have my tickets. I totally dropped the ball on that one. Do you guys have your tickets?
Dude, Jeff got us tickets.
Jeff got us all tickets. Yes,
where
thank
you
God.
been? No, so like literally Jeff does the most Jeff thing ever. Me, I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm basically like, cool, 6 a.m. this is going to go on sale. I'm so juiced, I'm going to wake up an hour early. Oh shit, it's already on sale.
Did you send out the trailer or did you send out the trailer?
Kirby sent it
I
out.
sent the trailer.
I was already in line virtually. So I'm cool. I'm like, okay, AMC app is downloaded. Account is put in. Card is there. Everything's good. Everything knows my login. I'm ready. Literally, I got stuck in a virtual line for 4 hours.
You got stuck in a virtual purgatory.
AMC went down. Fandango went down. I'm freaking out. It's 8:45 in the morning. I'm like literally like I can't sit down. I'm like, what do I do? What do we do? Do I just say screw it? I keep hitting it. It loads it up. It loads up where I want to sit. You tap it. It doesn't tap. You can't reserve seats. And I'm literally like by 9 o'clock, I'm like shrieking. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And literally somebody tweets it from just some weird ass account on Twitter, and they're like, dude, what did we used to do before this? Oh, we went to the box office. I was like, oh my God, I should leave. So literally, I don't bathe. I still haven't bathed since I left Mexico. Like I'm like almost
Gross.
like 2 days in not bathing because I had to
Really?
just no, dude. Because I got up and I just had to leave and get on a flight. And I got home. I was too tired to bathe, and I got up. So I'm like 2 days, no bath. About to just go run down to the box office. It's raining. Literally. While I'm driving, because I'm still hitting the button while I'm driving, don't text and drive, don't order tickets and drive. Literally, it lets me go on, it lets me buy the tickets, and I'm like, what do I do now? I'm in traffic trying to get to the theater that I want to buy the tickets from. So
You're like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I literally
I don't know what to
did,
do.
and it's like 11:05, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why did it take this much energy?
So in the meantime, I'm just in bed the whole time. I'm like, oh, I'll check out one app or one site. Nope, not working. I'll check another site. No,
Well,
not
dude,
working.
all the smaller sites were perfectly good. It was
No,
like
no.
any-
It wasn't. So it wasn't even for
yeah,
the
that's
theater
true.
we're going to, that we all are going to. It didn't like they didn't have it posted up for whatever reason. So it was like, oh, I'll go back to Fandango. I'll go back to AMC, and nothing was happening. And it was like what? Finally got to like what 2 o'clock, and I happened to just kind of like wake up from a nap because once again I was doing jack shit before I was leaving. And I hit the button, and it pops up. It's like, oh, there's 170 tickets available. I'm like, oh, cool. Guys, you want me to buy it?
I'm like, hit the
I
send
totally
button.
forgot we even had that conversation, to be honest. I've just been because not only did I just get a new job, I'm moving. So my brain has just been toast. So thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't like, I was
Thank you.
closing the first third of my vacation. I was in prime, like, who cares about this at this point?
I'm in
I'm
bed,
on 2
kick off
days without
my
a bath.
pajamas.
Like literally, I probably didn't bathe until like maybe 2 hours after you were like, dude, I got the tickets. I was like, okay, great. Both the times are good. I am good. All is well. Must take a shower now.
Yeah, gotta take this next exit and turn around.
That was a stressful
Clutch
few
seats,
days.
though. Dead center.
Dead center?
No, dude, yes.
Nice.
Yes, you are like clutch man supreme.
If you ever need to travel or just plan anything, Jeff is the guy.
Jeff is the guy.
Just have Jeff involved and things will just magically get done.
Jeff is the
But
guy.
don't tell him that.
Oh, also,
Actually-
number one fan said if you can't make it, he'll take your spot. So shout out to Jody being the number one fan.
Oh, I'll make it. Sorry, Jody.
But now that we got our tickets, now that we're all
So
set
now we got
up,
our tickets. So we're all excited about pregame.
Ah!
Are we gonna pregame Endgame?
I got the day off.
So we got our tickets. So we're all excited about Endgame. We're all ready to go for this. But how did we get here? This is 10 years in the making.
22 films.
22 films. How long would that take to watch them all back to back?
There's probably math on that.
There's
on
math that's
Google.
already happened. You would have had
It's like
to
a
start
couple
it like
days,
2 weeks
right?
ago.
Do you know that
2
number,
weeks
Jeff?
ago. Well, like, yeah, because you'd have.
If you're doing one a day kind of thing.
Yeah, you can't
If
just
you
sit through it all.
Okay, well, I think AMC, because they're like the ones that always do that. I think they're doing like you can do like the 56-hour run.
Really? You could just watch them back to back to back?
I think they'll sell a ticket for anything. So I'm pretty sure that they're doing
true.
like, you know, it's not everywhere, but like, you know, theater in New York, a theater in LA, Chicago.
Yeah, because let's see. It started in 2009, right? Is that when Iron Man came out? The
2008,
first.
May 5th, 2008.
So this is 11 years in the making. I don't have
love
internet
that
in my
noise.
house right now, so I can't look it up.
I love that noise. Oh, wait, there's no internet right here?
Yeah, Iron Man was 2008. Doesn't give me the exact date.
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
So this is 11 years in the making, then, huh?
Well, technically, it's still 2018. Technically, in their world, it's still 2018. Well, because the snap happened, what, end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018? This snap happened.
I mean, I know that the whole movie is supposed to, or the whole sequence has happened in what they call real time, but I still don't. I don't know exactly where this, how much time has transpired.
I'm trying to figure it out by looking at Scarlett Johansson's hair in every.
Oh, we'll get to
trailer,
that.
and
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm all over the place with that one.
Well, so pretty much it started off with Iron Man. Iron Man was the big jump start to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? You had the
Well, at that
introduction
time it
of-
wasn't even a cinematic universe. It was just them.
It was just
doing a freaking
Marvel
movie.
Yeah, and then the same thing with the Incredible Hulk was soon after that. I believe it was in the same year, and that was they had nothing to do with each other.
Well, at that point, they had built more off of it because the end credit scene then had
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Stark meeting up with what's his
General
name?
Ross?
Ross,
General
yeah.
Ross.
And then
Thunderbolt Ross.
yeah.
Ah,
But yeah, so then at that point, then like something was kind of forming, and then Thor came after that, and that
It was Iron Man 2. Thor
What's
was 2011.
was it. The Iron Man 2 end credit scene was the introduction of Thor.
Oh
So-
man, this is so long ago.
so yes.
So at that
Yes,
point, then
because-
they were building something.
Yeah, then it started to get
Because
put
in
together.
credit of Incredible Hulk was Tony, because at that point, technically, Iron Man and 2 had happened by the time we got to Incredible Hulk. Oh, if you guys want the hour sheet, so it would be just short of 10 hours to watch all the Avenger movies. And when we go to all of them in a row, we're looking at about 38 hours.
38, 56. What if you want to watch them twice? Then same thing.
Or extended director's cuts, maybe an intermission.
If those only existed.
Jeez. Or if you had to watch like those like couple different like in between clips, or if you had to watch a scene where like Incredible Hulk goes like to like the Arctic and tries to put a bullet in his head, and then he turns into the Hulk.
Well, there was that
Spits the
one
bullet out.
website I found. Remember where that person like created the ultimate
The
supercut?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Or like the linear supercut.
Yeah.
So therefore, starting from the beginning of time when the stones were first created, so pulling from Thor or
Yeah, that's when you first learn about
the Infinity Stones.
the array of Infinity Stones. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, the Collector went into more detail about them.
Yeah,
but I
so-
believe Odin talked to him about the first stones with the ether, right?
Exactly. And so from that, which also includes all the ABC shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all like whatever it can be included, that was intense.
Yeah, that's the super duper cut. This is just a list I found on Collider of having them all in
Shout out to
order.
them. I
based.
met one of their peoples at a event. Shout out to them. I like their
It
stuff.
looks like they do good stuff.
They better than when Jeff tries to give me Screen Rant stuff and I'm looking at him with a side eye. Like
Dude, Screen Rant now has a short version, a condensed version where you can just click and do a slideshow of their stuff.
Yes.
That's the best.
Screen
That
Rant-
sounds fantastic.
Screen Rant doesn't do all the
That's
work
like
when it
reading the
comes down to
headlines
anime. So
over
if
and
you
over
don't do
again.
your work when it comes down to certain things, I'm not gonna read anything. You just don't do your homework. You do your homework when it matters, but if your editor's like, "Hey, you got to get this out," and you're just like, is there a YouTube clip of this?"
So what I think we should do is, there's currently 3 phases, right?
See.
So we talked about Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor. The next 2 movies after that is Captain America and then the first Avengers.
Funny how that goes into like wait, I thought Avenger movies in the phase.
Yeah, the first Marvel's The Avengers.
So that ended
phase 1.
Okay, cool.
But phase 2, Ant-Man ended phase 2.
Yeah,
so,
it did.
It's not but it's towards the end of every phase is a big Avengers movie.
Look here, Kirby. Just because the movie ended doesn't mean the movie happens after the events of it. Only the first Ant-Man did that. The second Ant-Man technically happened during the events of it.
That's true.
Well, not during, but like a little bit before. Because if you match
that's
up
trippy.
the snap scene to where the end credit scene is, it actually is like
Yeah, it happened before.
yeah,
Oh, that's trippy.
dude,
Oh, that's trippy.
very trippy,
Dude. But pretty much every movie that came out happened in the year that it came out, right? Like Iron Man took place in 2008, and it also released in 2008.
Yeah,
right?
from my understanding,
Yeah.
that was their whole goal, to make it as real as possible.
Yeah,
As like real and current as possible.
Yeah.
But when we hit phase 2 or phase 3 is when the Guardians threw that through the roof.
Phase 2 is Guardians.
Phase 2 was the first Guardians movie, but was it the
Yeah.
second Guardians movie that threw off the timeline?
no, the
or was
first
it
one because the first one they say technically starts 4 years before the events of
New
Infinity
York?
War. 4 years before Infinity War.
Oh, that makes it hard.
Yeah, so if you place Infinity War, 2017, 2018, whatever they want to give you, you just got to go 4 years. So 2013, so you can put...
Well, it came out in 2014.
Yeah, that is true. So is it the first Guardians or the second Guardians that messed up the timeline? Because I thought that they all pretty much through phase 1 and 2 came out in the year that they said
I thought,
they were.
like, if you were to watch them, I thought you were supposed to do Guardians 1 and 2 back to back.
Yeah, Guardians 1 and 2 is back-to-back. People get thrown off because one is 2014 and one is 2017.
Yeah.
But they're right back-to-back from each other. So I don't think it messed up the timeline. I think literally Guardians being so... Like, its release date was 2017. You just had to put that movie back in 2014. You'd be like, oh, cool. Like, they're just their own
Exactly, that's
pieces
what I
of
mean.
work.
Like,
yeah.
so all of them come out in the year that they take place,
Except for Volume 2,
so it was
yeah.
Volume 2 that threw that
Yeah.
through the
So
loop,
you're right.
whereas
You're
actually,
right. Essentially, you're right.
thanks, dude. Say it again though for me. You know?
Essentially, you're right.
Begrudgingly.
Because that makes Groot really confusing. Like, how old is Groot at this point when we got to the snap?
Dude, Groot's the most confusing character in all of this.
Because he was
to
a
be honest.
twig at the end of Guardians, the first one, Volume 1, which is 2014.
Yep.
Guardians 2 also takes place 6 months later, and he's baby Groot, right? So he's grown up significantly in 6 months.
Yeah.
But do you even know what, like,
And
the
then-
time frame is for him to grow, though?
Well, that's why it's...
We were looking at a little bit of the math, but the math was kind of off there too. Now, what would really throw this out of proportion, like, I mean, extremely thrown it out of proportion, if Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 took place, like, and there was, like, an event that happened with him, and then that's why he's still a teenager. Or, like, a 18-year-old kid that's just...
I'm over teenage Groot. I want normal Groot back. I want Vin Diesel
I mean,
Groot
if
back.
anything, it'd be like
I mean,
20,
he's
it'd be
still
21-year-old
Diesel's
Groot,
voice.
so he's
He's
just
still
going to be,
Diesel.
like, going out partying, raging.
He's partied hard. He's like chewing on sap and shit. And
Yeah.
they're like, stop that.
Sage Groot.
He's, like, smoking himself.
Sage Groot.
He's got a fake ID. It's
Does
just
Groot,
an
would
oak
Groot,
tree.
Would Groot use CBD oil? Or would he just excrete CBD oil?
I don't know. Does his back hurt?
Does he make his own syrup or does he buy syrup?
TMI? If he's making his own syrup?
Yeah, is this sap? What
So-
is sap but like tree blood? Is it tree blood?
Is it blood, or is it... Is it because he gets excited?
I thought it was blood. It's not blood?
Why would it be blood?
What is sap? It's excitement?
It's excitement.
That's dirty, dude. That's kind of gross. I'm sorry. My tree has sap on it right now. I'm sorry.
So instead of going through every single movie, because there's a lot, there's the 3 phases, each phase having minimum of 6 movies. What would you say? So say someone was like, wanted to watch Endgame, they wanted to get on the hype train, they for some reason lived under a rock the past 10 years.
There are people out there.
There could be.
I mean,
and you're like,
my
hey,
dad-
these are the movies you have to watch in order to understand what's going on. What would you say are those movies?
I would just say you have to watch the Avengers movies.
I would
So
cut
Avengers, then Age of Ultron, then...
I would cut out Iron Man 1 and just be like, just go to Iron Man 2.
No,
Yeah,
I would cut out Iron Man
yeah.
2.
Why? Scarlett Johansson's in there, and that's where you first meet. That's where you first meet Black Widow, and you first meet.
But it's a bad movie.
No, it's not. I just watched it the other night. It's not a bad movie.
that
it's
the one with
actually
Whiplash?
It's
Yeah.
actually a really good movie because it's 3 different things that happen. You kind of get an idea of who Shield is because for the first movie you just like hear Phil Coulson like, yeah, I'm with this like agency and nah, 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 nah. And then you see like,
All right, I'll concede on this. We just get rid of Iron Man 3. We can just get rid of that one.
Yeah, we can
dude,
get rid
that
of Iron
one's
Man
good
3.
too.
Oh, no.
That one's good. No, so I hated that movie when it first came out. I was like, this is
it
not
was good
with
up until...
up until dude was like, I am the Mandarin.
Yeah.
But once they showed you that clip that it was like the Mandarin technically still exists.
I felt like that was them just like trying to clean up. They're like, yeah.
I just feel like with those movies, and I think that things changed afterwards. But at that point in the Iron Man movies, like 2 and 3, they kind of made it too Hollywood. Like they made it too grandiose than what the movies needed to be, and then they kind of centralized the characters more so after that. But 2 and 3 are just.
They're not that bad. I
would say out of Phase 1, the only one you really need to see is Marvel's The Avengers. I feel like that would be just a good starting point.
Whoa, Copernicus. What about Captain America?
No, I like Captain America. I like all the movies. But if I said the ones you need to see.
You still need to see that because you still have to make Infinity War make sense, because if you technically only watch
you need to watch everyone with the stones.
You need to watch anyone with the stone. It's the first time they actually get into detail about the stone. So for Phase 1, you need to see Captain America to understand what the Tesseract
Captain America
is.
for the Tesseract. That's true. Was the first Thor had the ether or the second
Nope,
Thor?
the second one.
So
the shittiest Thor you have to watch too, because you have to understand what the hell the ether is. See, that's how they got you.
Out of Phase 1, you got to watch Captain America and Marvel's The Avengers. Out of Phase 2, you have to see Thor: The Dark World.
Which is so bad.
It's so bad, dude.
Man,
like,
you have to watch The Winter Soldier to understand Bucky.
Yup, and you have to watch The Winter
That was
Soldier.
a good action movie, though.
Dude,
It was a
Winter
good action
Soldier
movie.
was still
Yeah.
still top tier of all the Marvel movies.
So I think that was the first Russo brothers movie.
First Russo.
Yeah.
And that to me was also
just
that's
over
what
Bucky.
changed everything.
Actually, once you throw in Winter Soldier, you technically now don't have to watch Iron Man 2. I back up.
Okay.
Back up the truck.
Don't worry, we already removed that from the list.
Okay. Do you guys want to watch Jon Favreau movies? Like, those are 3. Dude, okay.
He did the 2 though. He didn't do the 3.
He didn't do 3? What?
It was like Shane Black or something.
What?
Yeah.
I would watch 3 for Ben Kingsley. Him funny? I've never seen him funny. I've never seen him funny. He's always been a villain.
I loved that movie up until the Mandarin was faking it.
That was the best part.
It really
not
was the best
part.
That was
Well,
the best
Well, it was the best part
dude.
because it's Ben Kingsley, and I thought that was funny.
He was just a
That-
drunk
from
actor,
there, it
drunk British
ruined the
actor
movie.
telling
Young
everything.
British actor. I was like, dude, is that Ben Kingsley as a genie? I'm so confused. So confused.
But hey, with perhaps how certain events go in the upcoming movie, maybe they change things so they can bring back the Mandarin.
That would be tight. Get him with the rings and shit. Ooh.
Just close him out. Iron Man never had good villains, so just close that chapter.
I feel like we'll get there,
Iron
but
Man
I feel like
never had good
the
villains.
Iron Man.
He never had good villains.
I'm
sorry. I watched the animated show, the 80s one, the 2001. He just never had good villains. It's not his fault.
I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, is important.
Very.
It's just a great freaking.
It's just
movie.
a great movie.
It's important.
But remember,
because
we're just saying, hey, someone that wants to watch Endgame, what do they need to make sense? I mean, you need to know those characters.
any movie where a stone is shown and a stone is talked about in greater detail
Yeah.
needs to be
Volume.
in that list.
Yeah,
First one,
volume
yes.
1.
Volume 2, no.
Volume 2 you can skip, but
Yeah.
if you want to watch some funny scenes with who's really funny, I like Yondu. I really
Yeah.
enjoy Yondu. So you do kind of need to
Yondu.
watch 2.
You don't have to
No.
in order for to gear up for
But-
the road to Endgame.
But
you
it
don't
also
need that one.
it is important for Infinity War because you have to kind of understand where Gamora and Nebula come
Nebula.
from, and you kind of have to understand Rocket a lot more, and that's where you get in that movie because now if you go to Endgame, you only have those 2 characters, so you got to kind of understand them a little bit more, which they go in a little bit more detail.
I would say
in
that
movie.
it's a great one to watch, but I wouldn't say it's necessary.
So if they have an interesting conversation and somebody's like, what the hell are they talking about for the last 5 minutes? You would be like, oh, you probably should watch Volume 2 to get that.
I'd tell someone to watch all the fucking movies, but I'm just trying to help out the person that can't.
So how many movies
I mean, so
do
that
we
was
have?
so we have Captain America, Marvel, The Avengers, Thor: The Dark World, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then obviously you need to watch Age of Ultron because that gets referenced a lot throughout the rest of the series.
It does, which
It
is.
does.
I didn't even realize that.
You could skip it.
Well, no, it's also
No.
a Vision.
No, Age
Vision
of Ultron.
It is it's
You can-
integral part.
You can
need
skip it
him.
because if you just watch Civil War, it's basically 2.5. You can skip it because you really don't need. If you're into Hawkeye, you can't skip it because he only has like 2, maybe 2.5 scenes up until this point. So you gotta. I'd say.
No, so at first I thought I thought that Age of Ultron was kind of like a skip over movie, like there weren't a lot of events, but no, they keep on playing back to it
They
because
play back to it a lot.
of like the events that because of what occurred, it then shaped the remainder of that phase.
No, dude,
Yeah.
that movie wasn't.
I mean, it was the reason Civil War is a thing.
Yeah.
no, yeah. Well, it's the reason Civil War. It's
Which
the
also
reason,
is an essential movie.
It's the reason for a lot of things because before they even really got into the idea of Civil War, that scene where Hulk goes insane in the town, they were gonna use that scene to basically say like he went wild in Africa and like some of the like Wakandan citizens got caught up in that. That's what they were originally gonna use. Then they doubled down and were like, okay, we're just gonna put that scene in this movie and just pull Hulk from it, and that worked. Also, there was
That's
a lot
true.
of things that
I
were
was
taken away
hoping
from
that,
Age of Ultron.
The one thing I didn't like about Age of Ultron was Ultron himself in the sense that they tried to make him funny. Like, I thought that it was going to be just this badass, scary robot. Like, I think of the cartoons, I think of the comics of Ultron was this, like, feared being.
I feel like he got off on a great start,
Yeah, he started off great.
and then
As all
and then,
things
yeah.
do. Well,
towards the end of as the movie went on, I don't know if it was because they tried to make him why do they try to make him funny? Because like he was just kind of like egotistical in a way or something. But
I don't think he was funny. I think
Well,
he when
he's
he
supposed
when,
to have Stark's
when,
personality.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
So was the sarcasm.
It was
he
like, it was a Starkasm.
there you go.
Sarcasm. Get a clap track for that one. That was good.
You're editing it.
I am. Another thing that I was looking at another video and I was gonna send it to you, but Jeff was like, "No, don't send me no more stuff. I don't want to watch more stuff." There was a lot of things.
So he's just going to tell you about it instead.
Exactly.
No, yeah. I mean, because so
I might appreciate it more.
Wow. So for Age of Ultron, there were a lot of factors and things taken out of that movie, and I really think that was probably the reason why Josh Whedon totally like lost out going forward, because it was so many things that they were trying to do, and he was like, I don't know if we can get all these things done. You got to remember, like Captain Marvel was supposed to be in there. Why? There was too many heads in
yeah.
there. You had to explain Ulysses Claw, you had the twins, you had Ultron, and you had Vision. Like, basically, that movie is not a movie. It's a movie to basically go into, like, other things.
Also,
That's why it sucked.
Claw underutilized.
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
If we had a list of the most underutilized people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's number one.
Ulysses Claw.
Take it or leave it.
Boom.
He's number one. Because, dude.
Like, why do they? I mean, I don't know
He's number one.
If we're gonna jump to that movie as if it's included in this list of necessity, but
Well, we're getting there. So we just got Age of Ultron. Ant-Man.
when we get to Black Panther,
Would the first one be essential? I don't think the
think
first
if
one would
any-
be. It was a great movie, but it was small scale. It was the first small scale movie, which
It
I
opens
liked.
up the idea of quantum realm, and it opens your mind up to what Doctor Strange is. It opens the possibility. So you have to still include Ant-Man. Both movies. Sorry,
I don't
Ghost,
think
didn't
Sean's
really like you.
knocked a single movie off
Yeah,
his
yeah,
list.
no,
for
he
you.
wants
No.
I agree with you, John.
I originally said Iron Man is not needed on this list.
And then you went with Iron Man 2.
I went Iron Man 2 because Terrence Howard left the first Iron Man, so he's not in there. So you would just be confused to say, oh, how'd this guy go? If you're just like a casual watcher of movies and live in Nebraska, you'd be like, hey, why is that dark? Why is that black
Wait,
dude all
do you
of a
think
sudden
Terrence
dark
Do you
now?
think Terrence Howard told Jesse Smollett how to get more money?
Dude, don't do that. Don't fucking do that, Jeff. Don't.
For the
Fuck.
same reason why
Allegedly.
Terrence Howard
Allegedly. Dude.
left.
Dude. Allegedly. No, dude, my favorite line from Iron Man was literally when he looked at the suit and was just like, next time, baby. I'm like,
So bad.
never gonna be a next time, baby. That was the
If
best
he didn't
part.
ask for more money,
Yeah.
maybe you should have hired two guys to beat him up.
Shout out to
Man.
Dark. Shout out to Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle looks older and younger. Don Cheadle looks the same age in all Marvel movies, but for some reason, in other movies,
He's the
he
Black
looks.
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, damn, he is.
Sorry.
I'm in
so-
thought.
Sorry.
I'm in thought mode.
Paul Rudd's the white Don Cheadle.
Shout out to him having a 50th birthday, and like, I'm like, why does he still look the same?
Exactly.
He doesn't age, dude.
Shout out
Will
Leslie
Smith.
Shout out Leslie Mann also, and Jude Apatow. Apatow.
So Ant-Man concludes Phase 2. We agree. We don't need that. You don't need Ant-Man.
You still need the.
You don't need
I think
Ant-Man.
there's
The
enough.
first one.
There's
Ant-Man.
there's enough.
It's enough.
You need
comedic-
Ant-Man 2. I'll give
Dude,
you Ant-Man 2.
Ant-Man
Yes.
was enough comedic humor to walk away from Age of Ultron and say, this
No,
movie
we
now
don't-
gets a B.
if we're gonna jump real quick, we don't know what's gonna happen in Endgame, but from what we can tell, we can guess and assume Ant-Man 2 is gonna be critical because of those events leading to what happens. From what we can tell in the trailer,
Which we're gonna get there.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
He's definitely gonna go up Thanos' butt.
Shout out to Kevin Feige making that movie only make sense in 15 minutes, because the only pivotal thing you need from that movie was a scene where he goes to the new Avengers facility and tries to take whatever he needs back. Because technically, if you take away Ant-Man, how the hell do they all know him? Besides,
Well, here's the thing: is Civil War gives you a Ant-Man back. It doesn't give you the full introduction, but remember, we're trying to make the dummy list, the condensed list of the minimum you would need to see.
I don't know,
getting into
man.
Endgame.
like
I
it's
guess
we're
so.
trying to
Yeah,
get.
you're right,
It's
you're
the
right.
C minus.
It's the C minus. We're just getting the passing
Maybe not
grade.
even. Maybe the D minus. I guess like
You didn't flunk the class. That's
Yeah.
all we're trying to go for.
you still are, you're still gonna get credit.
No,
to go to
I think a
college.
D is where you just watch the Avengers and Civil War.
So C minus.
So we're going with C minus.
C minus, C minus. Well, because a D technically in California, it gives you the credit. You just have to retake the class. But if you retake
don't
it
have
enough
to.
times, yeah, sometimes.
It's suggested.
It's suggested.
If it's like Spanish 1, you got to take it again. They're not gonna. They're gonna be like,
Well, yeah, if Spanish.
Take it again.
If Spanish is your major, then yeah.
So
why was
yeah,
that-
you get your D if you just watch the Avengers, Age of Ultron, Civil War, and Infinity War. That's your D, I'd say. You would have no idea what's going on, but you saw the big movies.
That's my dad, actually. And then literally in
for dad.
Infinity War, he was like, when the hell did the talking tree get here? I'm like, shit, he missed that many movies.
How do I explain this to him?
Okay, how do I explain this to him in the sense that I'm not over talking the movie? I just tell him like, whatever, dude, talking tree.
Civil War starts phase 3.
Yep.
Essential movie, we've decided. And then right after that is Doctor Strange, also essential.
Very essential.
Granted, that was an origin movie, but it was a really good origin movie.
Plus, it has a time stone, so again,
And
if
it
we're
has a
playing
time
by the
stone.
rules. If it has a
I
stone,
noticed
it
a
gets
lot of the
explained.
origin movies have a stone associated with it.
Not all. For
Oh, we got the Tesseract was
Except Iron Man.
except for Iron Man. Iron Man doesn't have any stones.
That man don't need no stone.
That man don't need no stones.
He's supposed to be made out of stone. Out of
Iron?
stones. Out of
Iron is a stone? No.
Reach for it.
It's
Reach for it.
Reach for it. Oh. Shout out personal Jesus.
So I'd say Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, you can or Volume
Skip.
2, you can skip that
Skip.
one. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Skip.
You can skip that one. I loved that movie. But
I
you
loved
could
it
totally
too, but
skip
you could
it.
totally.
It goes in
wake
the
up-
Ant-Man bucket.
It's an Ant-Man bucket. It's a
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, it's a small scale Marvel. Instead of it being a galactic threat, it's like a hometown threat.
neighborhood effect.
A friendly threat?
But then you
A
get into
friendly neighborhood
Ragnarok,
thread.
which is essential.
I don't know if Ragnarok's essential. If we're gonna say that there's no stones that are talked about and Asgard is destroyed.
Yeah. What
No-
are you talking about? The very end. What happens?
Yeah.
What does Loki do? He walks past the Tesseract, and because he's doing whatever he needed
But
to do instead.
dude, at that point, we've
It's
seen the
pivotal.
Tesseract. No,
The only
no,
reason-
no.
okay,
I said any
the main
entry
reason
stone is
it's
pivotal.
pivotal.
No, that
Is-
if I just want to say this: if Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man Wasp is critical because of like how the ending sets up for everything else.
I didn't say it was pivotal. Who said that? Kirby?
I don't remember. I might have.
Oh, it was just me because I said it's pivotal.
I don't think that Ragnarok
also
is
get the-
pivotal because it only affects
Here's
Thor
the reason
and doesn't
why
affect
it's
the greater
pivotal.
good.
Mjolnir's gone. It gives Thor a reason
Yeah,
for
that's what
not
they
having his hammer.
But that's what they spent half of Infinity
And he
War
lost
doing.
an eye.
That doesn't matter.
no, but here's
that
also
doesn't
the thing:
matter.
is
An
literally
eye?
Odin's dead.
Infinity
That
War.
doesn't matter.
Infinity War starts at the very end of that movie.
So you wake up and you see Infinity War, you're like,
and
damn,
already,
dude.
and then half the ship's gone, which is the whole premise of Infinity War.
Was Tessa Thompson in Infinity War?
No, she
Was
was a part of the
anybody
half.
from
She was
Ragnarok
part of the half,
besides Loki, Thor, and Hulk who are in other movies in
Idris
that
Elba.
movie? Who?
Idris Elba, whatever his name is.
He dies in Infinity War, so,
So
is,
I would
is this
say
pivotal?
I would say it's essential not because of the stones, but because of Mjolnir and giving context to Thor's purpose of his whole endeavor with Rocket. Because without seeing that movie, and you just dive in, you're gonna be like, why does he need to go do that?
Actually, quick little side note: does Thor just have like his own adventure in every Avengers movie?
Yeah, dude.
He just goes solo.
He's the solo Avenger.
Yeah.
The reason why I say
Just thought about that right now. Like, in the first one, he does
yes,
his own
because in
thing.
Age of Ultron, he does like
Age
a
of
side
Ultron,
mission.
he goes and he does. Yeah, he
always
just
does
does his own thing.
Okay, so if Age of Ultron is included in this because he does his side mission, and technically that was him walking into the fact that he's going to destroy Asgard again. Why the hell is Ragnarok important if you got that from that Avengers movie? Because if I watch Age of Ultron and I watch Infinity War, I would just say, "Oh, he said
Because
everything."
he says we don't have.
so
the
this is
Tesseract.
obvious,
And
this is
therefore
obviously
they
our
have the
pressure
Tesseract.
point.
No,
so we
no.
need some comments on. Is this movie essential?
Dude, I need every fanboy ever, if you just watch like 6 Marvel movies, to comment on this.
You want every Marvel movie to be in this. Why is this the one you don't
No,
want
I
in
don't.
it?
I said no first time. Okay, if Ragnarok is in this, Black Panther has to be in this. That's pivotal.
We haven't gotten there
yet. Guess what's next? Black Panther.
Oh.
Essential.
Hold
Essential
on.
movie.
I
Hey,
still
I have
I
to
still
make my
say this
point.
before we move on. I think that Endgame is going to come down to one person only to save the whole fucking thing. Korg. Korg is going to come and save the day.
If Korg can somehow
Korg
shrink
and Meek.
down.
Exactly. Oh, he's dead. Oh wait, no, he's still alive.
Hey, Meek. Meek's still here, guys. Dude, nobody's talking to you. Dude. The kid is still trying to figure out why is this rock talking to me.
But that does bring us
That's
to
why
Black
the movie's going
Panther.
to be critical.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it's all about
It's
Korg.
about Korg.
So no, just watch all 38 hours of all the movies then. If
No.
we're gonna say Ragnarok is pivotal.
Ragnarok is I say that one's essential.
Ragnarok.
Okay, at least for a B.
Ragnarok is as essential to watching all of these as like maybe ABC is essential to Michael Jackson's like Essentials like album. It's cool, but it's not important. Like it's not as important as like Billie Jean. Yeah, I had to stick some Michael Jackson in here. I had to.
So we're gonna agree to disagree on Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, dude, that's like
But Black
so-
Panther is an essential movie as well, I
It
believe.
is.
Because I mean, it sets up Wakanda,
Yeah,
which
forever.
is
They're fighting there, so yeah.
where they're fighting.
Yeah, you just
And
be
also
lost if you didn't see
Cherie,
that.
and shows her and like her importance. So when she's trying to do the whole Vision Stone removal and everything,
Yeah.
Yep.
that was also just a fucking fantastic movie.
It was.
That is like
Yeah.
one of my top tier favorite movies of the entire MCU.
Do you have to
For
watch?
sure.
Do you have to watch Captain Marvel? Is that essential too?
No.
Why is it not? That was the first time Fury ever learned about a stone. I'm just making an argument in a movie now.
We'll get to that one. Oh, my computer went.
It made $1 billion, Kirby. How is it not essential? It made more than Dark Knight. God rest Heath Ledger's soul.
But that was a good movie too.
It's an amazing movie.
What, Dark Knight or Captain Marvel?
So did we decide that Ant-Man and the Wasp was essential? Because it
Ant-Man,
explains.
no, the Wasp, yes.
This is dangerous
Well, it does
territory.
explain the quantum realm, which is extremely
Yeah,
important.
you were very big
for
on the
this
quantum
movie,
realm. So I
believe.
think, but I think that
Yeah,
you
Ant-Man
can
Wasp.
miss enough from the first one where the backstory of, or the intro has the backstory, which explains everything, which you're fine going forward.
Which I think that his name's Luis Pedro or whatever needs to do a recap of the MCU series.
So-
Way more than us.
So here's the thing,
Michael,
since
right?
we're talking about Michael Pena, if we're gonna talk about his,
Oh, Michael Pena doing
So-
the Truth Serum recap.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Of the
So,
entire MCU,
there
would
was
be
a-
amazing.
There was a scene that was taken out of Ant-Man Wasp where he was supposed to do that, and Captain America was supposed to be in that. There was also a scene from Age of Ultron. The reason why they didn't put Wasp in the movie because Reed fought them so bad. The director, he fought them and was like, "Dude, you can't really introduce her and like just give her like some little quick story, and then we have a whole movie coming." So again, Age of Ultron probably be the most important movie because a lot of things were stripped from it to make it like kind of lack. There was a lot of great ideas. They just had to strip a lot of shit. That was almost like a 3-hour movie, and it didn't
I would have
even need
taken
to
a
be-
3-hour movie.
Doesn't Joss Whedon normally have like director's cuts?
I'm not sure.
Does he?
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
he should.
Yeah.
Is his name Zack Snyder?
They're
It is Joss
they're
Whedon.
besties. They did
They are besties.
Justice League, right?
Josh Whedon did
I literally-
did it with him or like exclusive.
That's a whole other
executive
thing.
produced? Okay.
No, he
No
did the
DC
whole.
talks today.
Yeah, no, he did. From what I understand, he did enough work where he could have or should have gotten director credit, but there was a lot of other a lot of other stuff that happened.
Guess
So
we gotta wait for Batgirl. What we got, Kirby?
Well, did we decide Ant-Man and Wasp? I think it needs to be because it describes the quantum realm, which I have a feeling is going to be very, very important for this
Okay.
next one.
Do we give a beard that Ant-Man 2 is important to like watch if you want to watch all the movies? Or
Well,
watch
we're
just
about to
enough
give a
get
beard
to
rating
it?
on Captain Marvel because that's the next one.
Well, I mean, beer rating can also be how we agree on things. Like we just give it a vote.
Does
Like
it?
I give it a
Yay or
beard.
nay?
Aye. It's how pirates vote. But also that movie probably cost them the most when it came down to actors. Michelle Pfeiffer,
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Michael
It was a
Douglas.
lot of high people in there, so
yeah,
that's
Paul
important.
Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Does Paul Rudd cost a lot?
And I did like that movie. That movie was hella fun.
The guy who was the villain now with the white suit, I know he cost a pretty penny after doing Quentin Tarantino movies. Just gonna say that. He probably cost a lot.
Dude, they all cost a lot. Pretty much anybody that acts in a Marvel movie costs a
I
lot.
don't think T.I. cost a lot.
Fair.
I think he might charge a lot, but I don't think he cost a lot. You know what I mean?
But I do think this is a perfect time to talk about the next movie on the list. And let's give it a quickie review and a beard rating, Captain Marvel.
Essential.
Tell us why.
Yeah.
Also, first, give us a quickie recap, give us your beer rating, and then let us know why.
Quickie recap, quickie beer rating. I liked it. I really appreciate it. It would be a little bit fresher if we still had the first episode, but I do still appreciate that movie. I appreciate what Brie Larson is doing, not only taking on the task of having to roll out like promo for that movie and then jump right into Endgame and all this fucking Avengers bullshit, and you just got here like a week ago or like 2 years ago. It gives more reference point for me to say that King Kong movie is basically NWA and the Avengers take on Kong. So that's that. I appreciate that too. But no, it was a super dope movie. I super dope like what they did like with like her niece that played a factor. I like that her name made no sense until like I was
Till
like, why
the
they call
very
her
end.
Veers? That's dumb. That's a dumb name until the very end. I like that it was like we got to learn her and she got to learn about herself. It was like kind of in the Thor aspect where he kind of learned about himself and then we learned about him too, except for it didn't have horrible hair extensions and a horrible plot.
true.
So there. Young Borg was terrible, but whatever. We'll get over it. I like the movie. It gets a full beard from me.
Full
as
beard?
Every female lead movie should.
Just so everybody knows how the beard rating works, pretty much when we rate a movie or whatever we are rating at the time, it's on a scale from no beard to beard, goatee being somewhere in the middle, and then anything else in between. So you give it a full beard, that means you get full points. That means you loved it. That was a great movie.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Agreed.
And then how do you believe it's essential to Endgame?
Technically, she was the first Avenger.
That is true.
She was
Is
first
she the
Avenger.
first Avenger if it was before the Avengers Initiative was created?
She was the reason why it was
She
called
was
the
the
Avengers.
inspiration
But doesn't mean
for
she
the
was the
Avengers.
first Avenger.
She's
No.
the first Avenger.
Cap, still the first Avenger.
Yep.
She's the first Avenger.
Nope.
Nope.
Technically, if we really want to go by who was the first Avenger,
It was
Black
Nick
Widow
Fury.
would be the first Avenger. Boom.
Actually,
And Hawkeye. Boom. I just watched the Josh Whedon movie. Boom.
That's true.
That Avengers movie also has so many deleted scenes that if you go back and watch, you would appreciate more. It literally has so many.
I want to
many
go back. I want to
deleted
watch
scenes.
the super edit, the one that you were talking about earlier, where it's just literally chronological, all the Marvel movies.
You don't have enough time.
No, I don't. I will start it. I won't get finishing it. Nope. But how did you feel about Captain Marvel while we're on the topic of that?
I wish it was still more fresh in my mind. I mean, I think it's been, what, a month?
Again,
Yep.
eyes on you, Kirby.
I blame my dog.
Let's see. When did it?
My dog ate my homework.
It came out on March 8th. It's currently, yeah, it's been a month since
We're almost to the day, Coach.
pretty much.
About 2 days off.
So, I don't know. As I'm trying to like remember this movie, I mean, I loved it. It was I appreciated how the retro feel of it was. You know, taking place in 1995, the music, the scenery,
Blockbuster.
yeah, the blockbuster moment and everything, and
The Game
the
Boy.
technology that they had. Yeah, it played perfectly on the nostalgia, we'll call it, but it was really, it was awesome. Yeah, the twist of the name where she only knew her name being Vers the entire time, and like it was because her dog tag was ripped in half.
Yeah.
So that was unique little things like that. I mean, I still appreciated how good Ben Mendelsohn was. I know
dude,
the whole
great A.
He is.
Grade A.
Who do you play as?
he was Well, he was like the scroll leader.
He was the lead scroll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And,
oh, that was
I mean, I know that there was a lot of
awesome twist.
I was to say there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know, controversy if it was that big of a deal, but like there was a lot of flack given out, like people saying like how the scrolls are supposed to be these, ultimate evil doers, correct? And they lead into that,
Usually.
and then they flip. Now, I think what's cool is that this whole timeline deal comes back into play because this was back in 1995, and if it's in modern time, there's still a lot of time. Maybe they turn bad. Things can happen.
Well, the scrolls
Totally.
in the comic
What I
books
loved-
jump back and forth between being evil. They were introduced as
Like
evil,
Super
and then
Skrull.
but they jump back and forth throughout the comic books of being evil and then being good because, like he said, they're refugees. So it makes a lot of sense.
Well, at the same time, like I love that they gave that the perfect excuse of why they haven't been around by making
they've
them
been
have
hiding.
that flip and making them, on the verge of extinction or dispersed in such a way that she's trying to find them a home planet. It also gave her the perfect excuse to also be gone. So like, there's some glaring holes in that movie to me. Like I do also wish that it was fresh in my brain, but I remember I absolutely loved it. I thought it was one of the best origin movies, but it was still an origin movie.
Yeah.
Things
Oh, no,
I could live without
Was
the Ronan situation at the end. Like, I feel like Ronan would have been better off being a character that didn't actually have to make an appearance, just kind of more over the comms, talking to, was it Jude Law's character?
Well, yeah, that's when that things happen. Well,
Like, he shows up and
No,
goes,
I think
I'm going
he
to
was-
fire 6 nukes. Do. Oh, she blew them all up.
That-
See you later.
well, no, that
That shit was
Sayonara.
weak.
that's the sequence
Weak.
that kind of ruins him.
Yeah.
If he didn't do that, if he wasn't there for that, or if that whole sequence was played out differently, then it would have been a better ending for his character, or pause for his character until you see him again in Guardians.
Yeah, when I saw him on the kind of like little intercom thing, I was like, oh, either they're going to do one of two things. They're going to kind of keep him as this Easter eggy character that's like, working through, what was your last character's name?
Young Borg?
Young Borg.
Bog?
Something like that. And
Eggnog?
like
Let's
working
just call him
through him.
Eggnog.
Or he was going to show up and like there's
Jan
something
Rog.
sick
Jan
that
Rog.
was going to happen that would have maybe like dropped him down a peg to become Ronan, the accuser. So I was expecting something like that, and instead he was like, I'm going to fire these missiles.
I mean,
I got to go.
His character in comic books is kind of like that wishy-washy like kind of character though. Like he never really plays like, even in like when they try to throw him in animated shows, he's never like the Thanos character that just like he commands the respect and the
Yeah.
attention. He's
the
always been
ultimate
kind of
being.
person who dips and dives into I'm like one of the top like supreme accusers, and it's like and you get flicked off by Squirrel Girl. We're all like you could
Well,
be more
Squirrel Girl's
important.
superpower is that she could beat anybody.
No, true, but what I'm saying
be
is
fair.
like Ronan doesn't always command that respect of being like one of the top tier villains. He is very much more a
That's
higher
true.
level henchman. That's all he
But
really is.
at the same time, with how they portrayed him in Guardians, it would have been really nice.
He was still a higher level henchman.
but still to further that like development. So that was one big glaring thing. But there's a lot of things this movie really did right. I love the whole one. I love like the girl power aspect. I love that they didn't do one of my least favorite tropes that happens in movies all the time, which is somebody gets into an alien ship and suddenly they know how to fly it perfectly. Instead, they had the mock Quinjet kind of thing,
Yeah,
and
they
they
had the
had her
original-
co-pilot.
Yeah, that they
And-
already kind of knew because they were already practicing the flight
Practicing
anyway.
with-
So when she seen it, she was like, "Oh, this is similar to what we flew back then." So
Yeah,
So not like an Independence Day moment
exactly.
where Will Smith's like, "Oh, sorry, directions were upside down."
dude, that was good. That was good.
But yeah, like that's a tropey thing that, I hate that happens in movies all the time. So I love how they did that. That's stuck in my mind. But I obviously will give that movie a beard. And I think I totally interrupted your beard rating.
I think you did, but
I just took it.
I
I
give
was
it a
like,
full
this
beard
is
as
mine
well.
now.
Kirby, the supreme accuser.
No, it's a full beard for sure. I mean,
But would you say it's essential gearing up to Endgame? Oh, I just
Hey,
remember one other
The
thing I
man
really
just
hated
said he
about that
gave it a
movie.
full beard. Do not take that movie away. It's essential.
Why?
It's essential because it's the first time that Fury sees the Tesseract. He didn't know what the hell it was. He couldn't even
true.
hold it. It gave him
that's
kind of the
true. I
knowledge
forgot
that,
about that.
dude, go back to Fury's original. Like, remember when they first?
that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
How does a Tesseract keep on getting around?
God, that's another tale.
That's a great question.
We need about 5 minutes. If we can get 5 more minutes on the timer, we can probably go into how that thing gets in. But if you go back to Avengers and when he told when they were like, "Oh, you're using the Tesseract to make weapons," and he was like, "Dude, one thing we learned with that grudge match between Thor and this other thing was that we're hopelessly, hilariously outmatched." Nah, you kind of learned about that,
you
Captain
learned about
Marvel.
95.
But again, you gotta.
He wasn't director yet, for one.
Which is what an agent, right?
Yeah, he was level 3.
He's an agent. Also, I really didn't care for how he actually got his eye patch. That bothered the hell out of me.
What, does he keep getting scratched in the eye?
Yeah, well,
Multiple times?
There's so many times. There's so many moments where it was like, oh, this is it, like the car crash, or
I mean, they played into that for that reason because it's always
Totally.
that moment where you're
and
like,
then
could
it
it
was
happen
like,
now? Oh,
this alien cat thing that's been totally on their side and fine all along up till this one weird little moment decides to scratch his eye out.
well, it's
Well,
not
he
a
didn't scratch
cute
his
little
eye
cat.
out, and the thing is, he could have replaced his eye. And I think a subreddit got into it was like,
Oh, yeah, they brought the eyes out at the end.
yeah, and the whole idea of like, how was he able to get that full clearance when he went back to Shield? Because he made everybody think that like his eye was not there anymore or was not useful, but he actually used that as like one of his like Trojan horses to get back into the system. Because he was like, if you want to get ahead of me, you got to keep both eyes open. And then he opened his little eye patch and boop, shined.
Was
it.
that in Solo? No.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they brought it all the way back to that. So I was able to understand
Damn.
why he left his original eye in as kind of like his Trojan horse for the system. I do my homework, Kirby. I've been game for this movie for a whole year. I've watched trailers back and forth.
I've been purposely not watching much on it. Let's go right into Endgame predictions right now.
What was your
Because
beer
we're-
rating?
Predictions and predicaments.
Predicament. I give it a full beer, dog.
Did you give it a full beer? So we all agree that we gave Captain Marvel a
Yeah,
full beer?
totally.
All right. Just got to make sure for the record.
And my reason that it's an essential movie is because I have a feeling that she's going to be playing a very important part, and it gave us a lot of the information of the Tesseract's origins before we knew of the Tesseract the first time. So I'm going to say it's an essential. Cool. What do you think's going to happen in Endgame? Yeah.
Do we want to really talk about speculations, or do we kind of want to map out? Do we want to get into speculations? Because honestly, dude, I'm kind of
maybe.
I'm more on the Jeff side where I'm keeping my hands clean of what I think it is.
now you are.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna do my research, Jeff, and I'm gonna be ready for whatever comes
But
my way.
there's a thin line between research and spoiler.
Yeah, that thin line is you got to know when you're running on the line of spoiler, and then you run back in bounds before anybody sees.
Yeah,
that
I
you're
didn't
spoilers.
think that I was okay. I got burned. I got burned by the official like Russo brothers and Marvel Twitter feed where they're like, "Here's a new clip." I'm like, "Oh, cool, new clip from the official feed." They're not going to show too much. They showed too much.
Which one was it?
I don't know. It popped up last week.
Huh. I've literally just watched the trailers. I've heard other little speculations
Well, there was the last
here and there.
the last trailer that came out for the ticket release. Like some people online were saying, like, "Oh, they've shown too much." And they're like, "No, they didn't show too much."
No,
on
I
that
thought
one.
that was great.
all this is probably deleted scenes anyway, so it doesn't matter. The only
Well, what they also do, and they're like known for doing this because they've done it in other movies, is CGing like specific characters out of scenes, changing costumes.
Oh yeah, well, case in
Like
point with Captain Marvel,
Captain Marvel.
where the ultimate climactic shot of her when she's in full, like, I mean, as you call it, Super Saiyan.
yeah, she's like
She's in full Super Saiyan
God form.
and in the trailer, and it's like she turns around, and then in the trailer, that's the shot they kept on showing. But in the movie, it's the same exact shot, but she's holding the lunchbox, and so that's the classic Marvel thing.
Yeah,
Because obviously they're not going to have a lunchbox in the freaking trailer.
Yeah,
Like,
so
okay.
they do that, and I think they did that a lot in this trailer.
I mean, for what I had heard, couple things were that it was either, I mean, or what was it, like all the footage shown was like in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, they said it was on the first 20 minutes, but I think that they probably also CG'd some stuff either out or on, or
For sure.
Like
The
one
Russos-
person mentioned at my new work. Sorry guys, I don't work at the office anymore. That they think that there's this one scene in the trailer where Tony Stark's pulling off his glasses and talking to Captain America, and he's wearing his Winter Soldier outfit. They think that that is actually CG'd over the original, and they think it's the Battle of New York. And they think that he's actually wearing, it's like a timeline thing.
Yeah, people have actually said that a lot of scenes, even the shots that they had back when Infinity War was a thing, they said a lot of those scenes were like look very much like the New York. They had that Josh Whedon just look to him. The color scheme, even in the one part of that trailer, it definitely the tickets now on sale trailer. It had that color scheme. I was like, oh, I don't know. That looks a little bit like 2011 or 2012 over there. But if you go back to what the Russos are saying, they said that the scene where they all have the suits on and you see Tony and them
The
walking,
red and white suits?
they said Tony's technically not even in that scene. That's like not even. He's not there. They just did that for the trailer.
But
What
are you
I'm
talking about like
curious
the
about-
sequence when they're in the red and white kind of
Yeah, when they're
quantum
walking,
realm
like,
suit?
yeah.
But Nebula's there too. So if Tony's not there, then how is Nebula there?
Dude, I don't trust anything they do when it comes to trailers. Again, you
Well,
go back
that's
to
the thing, is
Infinity
you gotta be
War.
skeptical
There
on
was a Hulk in that
Yeah,
trailer.
there's a Hulk in that, and there's no Hulk in that movie, really.
My
except for the
one
beginning.
theory is that trailer is gonna somehow that one scene is gonna somehow make its way back because whatever they do, they go back to that scene and they're like,
So we
we're gonna
agree
tag
that
this
time
fool.
is probably gonna happen. Like timeline shifting and going back in time has to happen.
It's the one thing everyone I think agrees
We
upon.
probably all agree, and that's why the quantum realm is so essential. So that's why the Ant-Man and the Wasp is essential movie to watch. Gearing up for this, in my opinion, this quantum suits look dope. The white and red. I love them. I think they look sick.
I just
But
want to know why.
who do you think? Because in my opinion, someone's got to die. Someone's gonna die in this
Who's
movie.
not coming back?
We do.
The Russos have already gone on record and saying that this will
What?
end.
Nope.
No.
What?
Wait, what?
Wow.
What?
Are you
We're not
gonna
going
do
on
this?
record. We're not going on
He's
record
like,
with
we're gonna
anything.
sit here and speculate about what's gonna
But
happen.
if you know,
But
I don't
what do
actually
you
We're not going to go
know.
on record.
Dude,
Oh.
what do you mean? That's like going to watch. That's like going to watch Transformers
Now I
the
don't
last
actually wanna
night,
know.
saying this is not the last Michael Bay Transformers movie when he just said it is. Come on, dude.
Nope.
Dude,
I actually did not know that there's a confirmation. Like someone
What do you
confirmed.
mean? Like, were you guys under a rock?
Apparently.
What are you talking about, dude?
I'm just saying we're not going to go on the. If you're
Chris
saying that.
Evans is getting choked up in every interview about this movie. Like choked up. I've never seen
Yeah,
a
it's an
man with a beard
emotional.
get choked up so
It's an
much.
emotional movie. I get it.
It's emotional because Fool is done, bro. He's
I mean, he's been
beelining out
done
of
since
this.
like the first Avengers
He's
movie.
beelining out of this, dude. I would be super shocked if they even just keep Hawkeye and Black Widow going forward.
Well, no, she has her
Because-
own movie,
The one thing I
Well,
hope,
it might take place in the past.
but she still has her own movie.
The
It
one
might take
thing-
place in the past.
But she's still involved.
She's gonna be involved, but I don't think they're gonna actually star her. And they said they might bring Taskmaster into that. If you don't follow Spider-Man, you're not gonna even know who Taskmaster is.
Isn't that a thing on Windows?
You see who you guys?
the one thing
Please
I
comment
hope
and see what I'm
happens
working with
that
here.
might go either way. So I don't know who's confirmed dead. So, but I guess
I don't
you
know
just
who's confirmed dead.
it.
I'm
You
just
just were
you just
confirming from
confirmed
the.
it.
I'm not confirming who's dead. I'm confirming whose story arc is ending. That doesn't mean they have to die if their story arc ends.
Because I want not Captain America. I want Iron Man to still be a thing. Like I want Tony Stark to continue
Why?
on and be a mentor towards Spider-Man.
Why?
I think he's a great mentor figure for Spider-Man. And like,
Why? Because he sees himself in the kid.
yeah.
Bullshit.
Phrasing?
What? Oh God.
Okay, here's why we'll speculate on if Tom Holland is not in this movie, then that means we're still on for another potential movie with Marvel and
Oh, wait,
Sony being
hold on.
partnered.
Oh wait, Far From Home.
Can we decide? Well, the other thing. So there's the new Disney Plus service. Keep in mind, like, there's already a Loki series confirmed. There's
Loki
already like a
series?
Hawkeye serease confirmed.
Oh, we're gonna talk
Oh.
about confirmed things.
I didn't
if
know
you know
about that.
then you automatically know what I know, Jeff.
I read a headline.
read that article while we sat here.
Well, speaking of
Damn
the
you,
Disney
Jeff.
Plus service, I did not know about that. But Disney just got a big chunk of Fox. Pretty much everything that's not their sports,
Or news.
Or news.
They have to sell that too.
which makes sense.
Dude, that means does that mean that like
So, do you think about the amount of characters they just got access to?
The Simpsons, Family Guy, fuck the Marvel shit.
I was
Just
talking
thinking like the
Marvel.
basic level shit.
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers, who still hasn't had its
Bob's
feature.
Burgers is now in the MCU.
I love to see Tina in the MCU.
So does that mean one scene that they're just gonna be watching Bob's Burgers? Like, can somebody just like edit that in where they're just like watching Bob's Burgers before they go off on their mission? Just Tina pops up.
Do you? So
Whose butt is she gonna marvel over?
Oh God.
Hulk's butt.
There you go.
Oh, another fun fact about Hulk, since we're on it, and since we're on Marvel. What's his name? Abomination was supposed to make like another pull up in a movie. They wanted to throw him in Age of Ultron, but again, got too many people in this movie, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, and then also Ed Norton were in that movie.
Norton
So
was that
yeah. So the new 21st Century Fox takeover, the buyout or the purchase or whatever.
The Purge.
Yeah. So here's the thing. All this happened in the last year. These movies have been, timelined out, spaced out for the past like 5 years. So like we're going into what's the next phase? Phase 4?
Yeah, we're going.
So like all these
phase
movies
4.
are already planned out. So
There's only technically on record, there was only 3 movies planned.
but that's on record. You know that they've had other stuff happening. So obviously
I'll say 4.
because they can make these changes. The word is that you're not going to be seeing a whole lot of the Fox owned characters in the meantime. They basically said that do not expect or plan any X-Men until phase 5.
Yeah, Kevin Feige already went on record to say that, hey, do not speculate anything. We still got.
Or maybe that's just what he wants you to think.
Nah,
and then all of a sudden,
I think.
And then Tina shows up from Bob's Burger.
I think Marvel has done a really good job not trying to just throw stuff at us to make fan geeks wet their draws. I think they're doing a really good job to say like this is our own adaptation. Like give respect to comic books where we do. So like real comic book fans can still take things from Marvel movies and say, "Damn, they did give us Howard the Duck. Damn, they did give us like all these different
Astro.
elements." Yeah,
Thank you. I
like
was
they
going
did
with
give
that
us
one
a
too.
lot of different things that we wanted, but we're not gonna get everything we want. So any fanboy that's like, "It could have gave me more," it's like, let me drop $1 trillion in your lap and see what you can do with it.
but here's the other thing.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Give it to me.
No offense, guys, but we're all going to be dead before the final Marvel movie ever comes out.
That's the plan. The plan is for
Yeah,
this to
so
go
therefore
on.
they-
Forever.
Dude,
you might be.
At this point, Disney owns 85% of Marvel. Like
They just need Sony and Universal, right?
Well, the only
Sony,
thing they really
mainly
technically don't
Sony.
own is the Spider-Man universe.
900 characters. 900 characters are just untapped. And honestly, what I've been speculating off, we're going to talk speculation for Endgame. Fuck that. What happens when Sony is like, yo, we're making so much money off like the idea of like Spider-Man has a game. People love the game. Spider-Man
Oh,
has
the
an
game's so
alternate
good.
animated movie. It gets an Oscar. Spider-Man shows up in MCU and everybody's all sad about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Marvel still writes them that check and they're like, oh, we can still get that money too.
No, true. So this is what Sony could honestly do with all that. They could say, hey, keep Tom Holland. We'll keep this deal going where you have your MCU. We will still have our own alternate universe where we kind of built the Spider-Verse in the way we want it to be. Hell, we might see 3 Spider-Mans in 3 different movies in 3 different timelines, and I'm going to appreciate it because I'm a big Spider-Man fan.
No,
I love all
There's
this
blurred lines that can happen with that, though.
You can do it with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was like really the first comic book that took off in like multiple different universes. The
I would
idea
really love
came from that.
if they did like Miles Morales. Like if Sony was like,
Slow your road, Scooter. We first got to get Peter Parker explained, and then we can get to Miles.
I'm
in
over
live
explaining.
action.
You don't need to explain Peter Parker ever again.
Well, you want to
everybody
see
knows
Ben
it.
die again for the 500th time?
No, it's
Jesus.
not the Ben dying. I think it's more so like when Chris Pine Spider-Man, super interesting. That's the one I've been reading about my whole life. I knew about the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, all his bullshit, but at the end of the day, he's just some sad-ass dude who just gets bad luck. That Spider-Man was interesting because he had Tony Stark as a mentor, and he was getting his own business started, and his Green Goblin was a sick fuck. And not just some regular dude, but a sick fuck. Like he had the worst of it all because he had it where the villains were like almost in like this corporation, like some DC shit. And he was like, dude, I gotta fight a Fortune 500 company of villains? Fuck that, dude. I'll trade that for that lonely sap that's like in his 30s eating pizza. I'll trade it all for that guy.
Nick Miller?
Nick Miller.
Yeah. There's my speculation. Spider-Man exists in multiple timelines after Endgame. We're not
Well,
gonna talk
I
about
was
Jake
about to-
Gyllenhaal. We're not gonna talk about Jake Gyllenhaal being Mysterio. That's
No,
weird.
because we don't know what's really happening with that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, it's up in the
those
air.
are the movies that we know are happening after Endgame. We know for sure there's a Guardians Volume 3, and we know for sure
Well,
that
back
there's...
on now.
Yeah. Shout out to James Gunn,
yeah,
man.
yeah, get it
Like,
back.
dude.
Get it back.
That was a good day. we found out about that at the same time we found out about some horrible stuff, but whatever. We'll get through it.
What was the horrible thing?
I don't know, dude. It was a month ago back when this was originally recorded and deleted. Jeez, dude, it's like I'm reading.
I'm giving this to you right away.
Please give it to me. Did you go see Us? Jeff didn't see Us, so I'm mad about that.
No.
You guys are
Why would
terrible,
we
dude.
see Us?
Why are Jordan Peele movies not being watched enough by you guys?
Because we're the two white guys.
Dude, but the movie's not even about race at this point. Oh my god. No, dude, if you watch Us, you probably would text me like 5 text messages of paragraphs in a row and be like, dude, I fucking love this movie. You would. Jeff would be like,
Is it a scary movie?
No, not even close.
Oh,
it's not.
then I'll watch
It's
that.
like a thriller, but more so it's the ideology. But you'd fucking love it and ran about it for like 3 hours, like you did about Love, Sex, and Robots. And Jeff would be like,
I love Love,
it was
Sex, and
cool.
Robots.
See, that's how well I know you guys. I know you guys would still appreciate that movie. I've seen it 3 times. I'm starting to have nightmares. I'm not gonna lie. Just because I watched it 3 times and I was on an edible the first time, and the second time I was watching it super pirated, and the third time I watched like the scene that I really wanted to rewatch, and then the nightmares started rolling.
And then the
around.
nightmares start rolling in.
Yeah.
That's how good it was. It gives you nightmares.
It was pretty good.
Just remember that. Well, anyways, that's pretty much all I had drawn out for today, but we are over an hour. Is there any last minute things you want to talk about before we call it?
That was it. I thought we had something else.
Yeah,
no?
I thought we had more stuff.
I feel like there was a
Kirby.
third- there was-
Jesus, dude, you trying to kick us out after an hour?
No,
Okay.
we went through my list, bro.
Why was your list
We
so
did
short?
introductions, we did the timeline, Guardians, we did most important movies, we did Disney Fox merger, X-Men X-Force, you kind of crushed that right away.
X-Men X-Force.
Because will Disney do rated R? And you said they're not even going to think about X-Men until at least Phase 5.
That's true.
Oh yeah, but they'll do rated R. They have a movie on the record right now that's coming out. It's another what's his name? Ragnarok director Taika Waititi, whatever his name is.
Is he going to be doing that one that they were talking about, that first Asian hero?
No, so it's a period piece of like 1940s where a kid in Germany who has an imaginary best friend who is Hitler.
Whoa, that just went for a turn. Where did you pull that out of?
Oh, everyone's favorite website.
Screen Rant?
Screen Rant.
Dude, Screen Rant doesn't even like Screen Rant. Screen Rant is Collider hiring today?
Is Collide hiring today?
Dude, so you guys
Hey, but
have
apparently
any
they got slideshows.
You guys don't have
Yeah.
any speculation about like anything? You guys are just gonna go in half cocked?
No, so I have
I'm going with a full
speculations.
fucking rager.
I am fucking stoked for this movie. Like, things that I want to see. Professor Hulk. I want Professor Hulk to be in it so bad.
You're reaching the moon right now. That's a
I don't
moon
know.
request.
Hulk and Professor Banner kind of merging together to kind of like come together for this. I think it could happen.
I just appreciate a Hulk that can talk, like that can form a sentence with a pronoun
Yeah.
and a noun and an
now make him
adjective and a verb.
Banner smart. That'd be fantastic.
What about pronoun? Yeah.
Can he say pronoun? He doesn't say pronouns. He only says his name in third person. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Hulk
Sorry.
does not like this. So I want to see Professor Hulk. Probably not going to happen, but I want it. So don't take this away from me. I think that what could be cool and could explain, because Thor is ridiculously powerful now.
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
he died?
We have Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, then we got Captain Marvel
Yeah,
now.
you didn't
But they're,
have
about
her
to,
first.
they're about to get it on.
Oh god.
I like her.
Oh brother, stop. I mean, okay, the one shot that was really pivotal in the tickets now on sale trailer, that's what I'm just gonna call it, was the scene where you see Thor's cape, you see Steve Rogers' shitty boots, and you see like a glimpse of like a CGI foot that was iron, and you see like Thor all the way, well not Thor, you see Thanos all the way on the other side. I personally don't think that that's gonna be the final fight. I personally think that's like their first time all getting a look at him since this has happened.
Oh,
And they
yeah,
get their
totally.
asses kicked.
I feel like that was the Avengers like base. What do you call that? I think that was their base just completely wiped out.
What?
Like, I think
the
Thanos-
Upper New York countryside base.
Yeah, the
Upstate
one,
New York?
The one,
There you go, upstate New York.
Upstate New York. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one where Captain America's been chilling at. Like, I feel like that was there.
Would have been near Syracuse, probably.
Jeez. So that means the Bill's Mafia makes a scene. Dude, if somebody from Bill's Mafia makes a scene in this movie, I'm juiced. Shout out Upstate New York.
That's actually how they beat
But yeah, that's
Thanos.
what I
They
feel like
fucking
that
just
whole-
pile drive him through a table.
They tailgate him to death, dude. He's like, wait, I don't understand. You guys don't ever win, but you tailgate really hard. They They get him hammered and they slip the glove off. They slip it like by his pinky and it just comes off. There's the movie.
So, I mean, this one, I feel like there's been no speculation on him. We don't know for sure that why Thanos would even be the villain throughout the entire movie. Like, what if Thanos is only in it for like fucking 20 minutes? What if there's someone else? What if there's another bad guy?
Oh,
in
who would
comes
it
Red
be?
Skull. Red Skull without
True.
the cape.
But that's the thing, and that's what I'm curious about. The finishing of what like 4 and Phase 5 is like, where does it go from here? Like, this is the climax we've been waiting for a decade.
Yeah.
And I feel like Thanos is probably going to see that they're trying to undo what he's accomplished, and he's going to try to intervene that. So I could still see him being the main villain in it. But it would be interesting if it wasn't.
I got some more fun for you.
Dormammu.
In being sad about Gamora, used it, like, remember again with the Tickets Are Now on Sale trailer, they were like, he used the stones again. What if he snapped or did something along that lines that they were able to notice, but it was his attempt to like try to bring just Gamora back, or at least try to get back to seeing what he seen when he made the first initial snap and woke up in that like orange world. What if that's kind of his awakening, or he's trying to summon that sense of self back?
Or what if he just realized that when you kill half of everything, it doesn't actually solve any problems?
Are we under
just
the
reduces it.
Are we under
just
the
reduces it
speculation
in
that
half.
he himself thought that he would be die in the snap? Some people were saying like he kind of took
Like
a
a
pause
martyr
because he
or
thought
like a-
he thought that he would fall in the snap. But then the other side of that, people are making the argument that no, when he told everybody what his plans were, and when Doctor Strange said spare Tony's life and I'll give you the stone, that he actually did the snap and him and Tony were not going to go anywhere. That for 100% fact, he knew they were not going to get dusted because he made that promise to Doctor Strange. What if Doctor Strange comes back into play where he says spare his life, I'll give you the stone, because he knows Tony somehow is going to get this to not
to be reversed?
Yeah.
Well, in Infinity Gauntlet in the comics, Tony Stark recreates another Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to go that route at all. Here's another question. At the end of Infinity War, when he snaps, his gauntlet like burns out.
Yeah.
In the trailer, it looked like his gauntlet was fine.
Time
What
travel.
if he got it?
So
Time travel. What if he met them back in the past and was like, "Oh, you think you're the only person that can do this? I'm back there with you." And
he does have the time stone.
Connects back up with Tyrion Lannister?
Yeah. I was like, wait.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden the White Walkers come into play.
wow, I'm out, Coach. What's a White Walker?
You don't know what a White Walker is?
No, what's a White Walker?
Oh, I forgot he doesn't watch Game of Thrones. That comes out like in a couple weeks.
No, it comes out
Comes out in 1 week.
Comes out
How
this
do
week.
How do I know more
1 week
about that?
from this week of the recording.
Oh, dude.
But no, dude. Like, I mean, like, if he is not the big bad guy, then that means that Marvel has now kind of cut Thanos' legacy as being that end all be all in half. They've now ruined his legacy because from 2012 you were like, this guy's gonna fuck shit up, and then if we come out with Endgame and he's like not part of that all the way 100% through, or even like
He needs to be.
He
needs
has
to be
to
the bad
be.
guy.
But what if?
But who would it be?
I don't know.
dude, if you guys ever watched the cartoon version, the animated Avengers Earth's Strongest Heroes, when they actually beat him, they were noticing that a lot of galaxies were noticing that they beat him, and actually having him in the world was making more sense than him not being in the world. That once they actually tackled him and defeated him, there was like mass chaos because they were like, oh, well, who's gonna be the next big bad dude? So then instantly Steve Rogers is like, he's got to go back out there. He like literally like knocks everybody out and frees them. Is like, hey, you got to figure this out because this is
I love
stupid
that
shit.
Steve Rogers goes loose cannon like all the time.
Well, dude, Steve Rogers isn't gonna lose cannon. His thought process is very like good, bad, but you can blur those lines based on what the end goal is or the end game.
Nice. Nice little tie up there.
I tried, Jeff. I aspire to be like you, Jeff.
I think that does it, right?
Yeah.
I think I mean we've gone through my list, so unless you have any last minute, last second things,
I always have.
I'm gonna
last
close it
minutes.
out.
Can we do some shout outs? Any shout outs for the last bit of this? Jeff, shout outs?
I got no shout outs.
You guys have no shout outs?
Dude, you're the shout out guy.
Yeah.
You always have all the shout outs. I'm
right.
surprised we didn't have like 1,000 in between everything.
Back to my list. Shout out my peoples from the office that are going to Coachella. I see you. Wear your sunscreen. Shout out I don't know. Shout out Bella. She's 10 years on Twitter. Cool. Shout out Nikki. She dissed our Disneyland trip because her Lola's turning 100. That's cool. Dope. Shout out Lola. Shout out Jody. He dissed us too. He's not going with us. Shout out to everybody.
He's our number one fan, though.
Yeah, shout out to that guy. Shout out. We might try to get some other stuff going on later on this year, so keep it locked. Please comment back because, your opinion matters. I guess kinda. It doesn't really matter.
It does matter. So let us know also how we've started implementing that feedback, how the one topic episode went. I do want to hear back on that to see if this is preferred or if you like our more scattered multi-topic episodes.
If you guys like any Avengers things, anything like that, throw that in the comments. Tweet us. I'm at Sean Zula on Twitter, whatever. You can find Kirby and Jeff somewhere in there too if they want to throw their Twitter names out there.
If they find your Twitter, they'll find our Twitter.
Pretty much.
Because you guys are the only ones I tweet to and from.
Cool.
But anyways, so this is potentially a podcast in theory. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
I'm out. Peace.
Potentially a podcast